Hi guys, Gadusek here and welcome back to the channel. So this video will be probably the last video from my Market Master Indicator series. The reason why? Well, the project is finished, the code is complete, and I just want to basically recap the whole indicator. So I just want to go like feature by feature and explain how it all works and how I should or how I would encourage you to trade it. Yeah, so how to put all of this information together and how to trade it. Also, I have been testing this on my live account for some time, and yeah, it's been running quite smoothly. So I guess the code is all right. Like you can see this on my chart, it has been running for the last 2 days or 3 days, and everything's look good so far. Okay, so perfect. So let me just change this to 1 hour time frame so we can see everything, and let's recap basically all of the features of this indicator. So when we basically open the inputs menu for the Market Master, we can see that we have quite a lot of functions here. So we start right here at the top with calculate for bars. So this feature was implemented due to the like we wanted to decrease the time that the indicator takes to load. So if we want to calculate the indicator on every single historical bar, it can take quite a long time if you are, for example, working with 50,000 bars or so. So by limiting basically the number of bars the indicator calculates its values on, you can significantly decrease the loading time. Then you have performance analysis days. So this input right here is tied to the user interface. So here you can see the user interface, and you can see that the right box of the user interface has this performance label. And here you can basically see your trading key metrics. So what it does basically tell us here is that based on the last 14 days of trading, we had 0.2 profit factor, which is very low because, yeah, first of all, this is not my main account. This is just my testing account, so I don't trade here, but you get the idea. Yeah, it shows you the profit factor, it shows you the overall profit, overall loss, win percentage, average profit, average loss, positions total. So this is how many positions you took, and current profit. So if you have any active positions, it will show you the equity. If I change this, for example, to, I don't know, 100, let's check this. It will change. Oh, it won't change because I didn't take any trades on this account prior to that. So let's just try 1 day, okay? So 1 day, yeah, it does change. Yeah, it does change. So that's basically how this works. So then we have importance, price, levels, settings. So the important price levels, they are basically monthly levels, weekly and daily levels. So let me actually just turn everything to false here so we can like go feature by feature. Yeah, and here I think I can turn this to none because I just like want to have a clean chart here. Envelopes, this should be okay. Also false. Let's write this and false. Okay, perfect. So this is okay. So now basically let's pay attention to these lines. Yeah, we can see these blue lines, these orange lines, and these purple lines. So the purple lines basically show you the monthly highs and lows. Yeah, so if you look at this, yeah, you have your first purple line here. Oh, sorry, your second purple line down here, and they basically show you the monthly high and monthly low. Then for every week, you have these orange lines. So this orange line shows you the highest point of the last week and the lowest point of the last week. So for example, for this week right now, this is the high point, this is the low point. and then you have these blue lines which basically show you the high and low for the previous day. Okay, so this is not like for the current day because it wouldn't make sense, but it shows you the high and low and high for the previous day. So for example, if you look at today, you can see that the previous day's low was at this level, and that's why we have this blue line right here, and the previous day's high was at this level, which is exactly the same as the weekly high, and that's why we can see a blue line right here. But if we check the day prior to that, so yesterday, we can see that the blue line is right here, which is correct, and the blue line for the high level is right here, which is also correct. So yeah, that's how it works. Here you can, for example, if I don't want to see daily levels, I can just turn this to false, click on OK, and it won't display daily levels. It will only display weekly and monthly levels. If I, for example, think that, yeah, I should, for example, change the style to, for example, I don't know, solid lines, I can do it right here. Yeah, so I can go here, price level styles, choose solid, click OK, and it will be solid lines. So you have like a lot of options of how to change the appearance or the visualization of the lines. You can also change the colors right here. Yeah, so for example, if I want my monthly levels to be, for example, red, I can change it here, click OK, and they are red. Perfect. So then there is one more thing, and that is the importance levels days pack. So it's the same principle as for the calculate for bars. Like we are not interested in, for example, daily high and daily low for the day that happened like 400 days ago. Yeah, so that's not what we are interested in. We are only interested in more recent highs and lows, basically. So here you can like say for how many days you want to calculate and plot out these levels. So yeah, that's it. So for now, let me just turn all of these to false, and let's check the next feature. So then we have trend analysis feature right here. So this version of Market Master is the premium version. So that's why I have my own personal trend indicator right here. There is also a second version for you guys where I showed you how to replace the trend filter with like any indicator you want, basically. Yeah, so I showed you how to do it. So you probably will have trend filter based on MACD or on something like that, but the concept basically stays the same. Yeah, so let's enable the trend filter and let's check it out. So if you enable the trend filter, it will change the color of the candlesticks based on the current trend. So obviously uptrend is for, or green candlesticks are for uptrend and red candlesticks are for downtrend. With my personal trend indicator, we can also change these inputs right here. So based on these inputs, you change basically the trend settings. So for example, if I want something more for more shorter term trend, I can change this coefficient basically, for example, to 2, and I can change the indicator length to something like 25. And when I click on OK, you can see that now basically the trend changes quite often. So that's that. We also have this second feature which is tied to the trend filter, which is called filter sideways. So here we also have an option to filter sideways trend. So when we check the chart, you can see that it's not precise. Yeah, it's not 100% precise. It's capable of catching a nice trend. For example, here, this uptrend is very, very nice. But in sideways trends, it doesn't perform that well. So that's why I added this feature. If you turn this to true and click on OK, it will add this purple color. Yeah, and this purple color basically means that there is a sideways trend. So let me just revert this back to the initial settings, so 6 and 99. And yeah, it looks like this. So now it does quite a good job at filtering out the sideways trend. So for example, here it goes sideways, here it goes sideways. Of course, it's not 100% correct. And that's why you can also like change the sensitivity. So to increase the sensitivity, you can decrease this value to, so for example, if I change this to 1.05, you can see that almost, so it's the other way around. Smaller values decrease the sensitivity and larger values increase the sensitivity. Yeah, so if you don't want the trend filter or the sideways trend filter to be that sensitive, you can decrease the value, or if you want it to be more sensitive, you can increase this value, for example, to 1.4, and now you can see that almost everything is purple. Yeah, so I wouldn't advise to set so high values, but the option is there basically. So let's continue. So let me just turn this to false and let's check the next feature. So now we have BOS, Breakoff structure feature. So I will turn this to true, and we have quite a few options here. So let's just check it how it looks like with the initial settings. And it looks like this. So basically what happens is that the indicator will tell you when there was a BOS, okay, so when the price broke its previous structure, and it will plot out this line. So for bullish BOS, it plots this aqua line, and for the bearish BOS, it plots out this reddish line. Yeah, so this is how it looks like on larger scale. So now, of course, you also have an option to change the sensitivity basically of this. Yeah, so if you want, for example, less signals but more important signals, so for example you want to only focus on more important BOS signals, yeah, you can change this depth value to, for example, 24, and now you can see that it plots out less objects, less lines, yeah, but they are more significant, let's say. Yeah, so that's how you can like change the sensitivity. And if you want to see these signals for almost everything, basically, you can change this to 8 or something like this, and now you get more signals. Yeah, so it's up to you. I would strive for 14 or 24, as I said before, or 18. You can go for something in the middle. But yeah, it's a very, very nice feature to have. You can also change the color of the bullish pattern, also for the bearish pattern, and you can change the style to, for example, dotted, and you can also change the font size. Yeah, so if I change the style to dot, click OK, you can see that now the lines are dotted. So that's the Breakoff structure. Moving on, the next feature we have here is fair value gap. So it's the same concept, you just turn it to true, click OK, and it will display fair value gaps on your chart. You can see here that it only displays unfilled fair value gaps. So that's a thing that we can change in the inputs menu. So if you check this option right here, it's called fair value gap show filled, which is turned to false. Therefore, it only shows you the unfilled fair value gaps by default. But if I also want to see filled fair value gaps, I just turn this to true, and it will plot more fair value gaps. Yeah, so for example, here you can see there was a fair value gap right here, but it got filled. Yeah, so that's basically the idea. The same thing, we can change the colors. So if you don't like these colors, you can change them here. then we have this fair value gap minimum point size. So by this we basically limit or filter two small fair value gaps. So if I, for example, were to change this to 5 points, you'll get even more fair value gaps. For example, this one, yeah, which is like very small fair value gap, but it still is a fair value gap based on our definition. So that's why I added this filter. So if you want to see all fair value gaps, no matter the size, you can you can set this to, for example, 0, yeah, and then you will see all fair value gaps. So for example, this one, yeah. If you want to limit the fair value gap size, for example, by 200 points, you can set it right here, click OK, and you will only get like these significant fair value gaps. So that's that. The next, the next input here is candles analysis number. So this is the same thing. This says basically how many bars we want to analyze in order to find the fair value gaps. So if I were to change this to, for example, 10 bars, it won't display probably anything, because if you look at the last 10 bars, yeah, there is no fair value gap in here. But if I were to change this to our initial 500, yeah, it will look at the latest 500 bars and it will plot all those fair value gaps that happened inside those 500 bars. Yeah, so this is our time window. We can also like increase this, but be aware of inputting here too large numbers, because if you go for too large numbers, then then it will take more time to basically find these fair value gaps, and the indicator can freeze and stop working, for example. Yeah, so just be aware of that. But we can try it out, and as you can see, we have like fair value gap at this point, for example, or at this point. So like we go a lot of candlesticks back. But that's not effective in my opinion. So let's continue. Fair value gap. So then we move on to the fractals. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Let's turn it to true and let's see what will happen. So you will get these arrows that basically show you, hey, here is a fractal, and that's it. Yep, that's how it works. Like there's not much more to it. Of course, in the inputs menu, you can change the color. So here you can change the color for upper and lower pattern, and then you can also choose here from 3 options, because when we are looking at fractals, there are like they can consist of different number of candlesticks. Yeah, they have the number of candlesticks has to be odd. Yeah, so that's why we have 3 candlesticks, 5 candlesticks, and 7 candlesticks. The default value is 5 candlesticks, meaning, yeah, 5 candlesticks, but you can like experiment with these. So if I were to change this to 3 candlesticks, you can see that we will get much more signals, because now we are only analyzing 3 candlesticks. If I were to change this to 7 candlesticks, for example, then we will get less signals, because yeah, it's not that common. So that's how it works. That's that. So moving on, we get our bands. So the bands, they can be seen on my chart already. They are here basically. I wanted to make them transparent at the start of the video, but it seems like I didn't succeed with it. So let's check it. So what do the bands basically tell you? The bands tell you, let me just do this. Yeah. So let's stick with these colors. So the bands are there for you to know when the price oscillates from its average price too much. Yeah. So you can see like the gap between these 2 bands as the average price. Yeah, and as we know, the price tends to return to its average price. So how does it work? Well, when the price basically goes inside one of these bands, you can assume that it will go back to its average. Yeah, so the average is somewhere right here. So when, for example, the price goes below this band, you can think to yourself, or you can say to yourself, okay, now the price should revert, so I will be looking for buy positions. Yeah, the same thing here, for example, but here it's sell position, of course. Yeah, so that's how you can use these bands. There are quite a lot of options of how to set up these bands, so let's explore them. You can either base these bands on envelopes or Keltner channels. By default, it's on envelopes, as you can see here. And if you set envelopes here, then you can change the settings for the envelopes right here. Okay, so you have envelopes period, envelopes first deviation, second deviation, and the method of how the envelopes are calculated. So yeah, I guess there's not much more to say about this. You can change the period, for example, to 50. If you do so, the envelopes will follow the price more precisely. And if you want like more long-term bands, you can change this to, for example, 300. Yeah, you can change this to 300, and now you can see it's more smooth, it's more long-term based. So the second option is to base these envelopes, these bands on the Keltner channel. So in order to do that, you have to go here, select the Keltner, and then here you have inputs or you have settings for the Keltner channel. So you start with the period, and then you have ATR period, ATR multiplier 1, and ATR multiplier 2. You can experiment with these settings, but if I just leave the initial ones and click on OK, you can see that now the bands change. Yeah, they look different because they use different source. Let me just check my webcam. Yeah, it should be okay. Yeah, so you have two options here. Me personally, I think I would go for the Keltner channel because I think it's more a reliable tool. But of course, the settings of these bands do matter a lot. So you have to like spend quite a lot of time exploring what works together well and what does not. Okay, so let's continue, I guess. So let me just, we can leave these bands on. Yeah, we can leave them. So then we have VWAP. So VWAP stands for volume weighted average price, and I added this indicator to basically determine where the average price is. Okay, so this is like where it all comes together. Yeah, because the idea, as I said before, with the bands, is that when the price goes either below a band or above a band, it should go back to its average price. And in order to know basically where it should go, we have to know what is an average price. And that's why I added the VWAP. So VWAP is this dotted line, yeah, and it should represent the average price, where the price should come back to. We can see this, for example, at this point right here. Yeah, the price goes below, and then it goes back to the average price. Of course, this is just an example. It won't work like this 100% of the time, but you won't have a concept basically that makes sense. And in my opinion, this does make sense. So that's why I added a VWAP. If you know a little bit more about VWAP, you know that it's calculated based on specific number of days. Yeah, by default it's set to 1. So at the start of a new day, the VWAP resets and the calculations start over. If you don't like this option, you can change it right here. So if I, for example, change this reset days input to, for example, 4, you can see that now okay. Yeah, now it's okay. So you can see that now the VWAP resets every 4 days. Yeah, so it resets here. So this is the first day, second day, third day, fourth date, and now it resets. Yeah, so if you like want more long-term VWAP, you can have it like this. I would either go for 1 day or 2 days. In my experience, if you go for a higher number of days, it doesn't perform that well. Of course, it depends on your trading strategy plan. Yeah, if you are looking like for more long-term setups, let's say you can use like 1 week or so, and then you can, for example, go to higher time frame. Yeah, so if I go to higher time frame and I use 1 week, it looks kind of nice. Yeah, it looks like you can use it, but on, for example, 5-minute time frame, it doesn't make much sense to me, because yeah, imagine that you are trading, that you are taking a trade somewhere here and your average price is at this point. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. So higher VWAPs, good for a higher time frames, I would say. Otherwise, stick to lower number of days. Yeah. Also, the indicator can do this sometimes. Just refresh the chart, and it will get recalculated. This happens because there's just so much going on. Yeah, there's just too many features for it, or there are just too many features, so it's not that easy to run this indicator. Okay, so this is VWAP. After VWAP, we have elephant bar. So this is the only feature that I'm not sure about 100%. When I added this, I thought it's like a good idea to add it, but then I didn't find any utility for it. So that's why by default this is set to false. Okay, so by default you don't see elephant bars on your chart, because yeah, for me it just doesn't make that much sense. Yeah, but let's check it out. So I will set this to true, and basically what happens is that I also have to change the settings. So just 1 second. Size factor 3, for example, I don't know, 5. So what it does here is that it shows you candlesticks that are significantly larger than the other candlesticks. Yeah. So in theory, basically, these candlesticks mean that something is happening. Yeah. It's pretty simple idea, but it can be like nice. Like it can be useful when you are, for example, looking for signs that the trend will change. Yeah, for example, for something like that, or when you are looking for signs that the current trend will continue. Yeah, so like it gives you some information, but for me personally, it's just not that important to have. So it's up to you. By default, it's set to false, but you can turn to true. So then we have 2 last features. So the first feature here is currency strength meter. The currency strength meter can be seen here in the oscillators window. Yeah, so this is the currency strength meter, and it basically it tells you what is the current trend on other currencies. Yeah, so this only works for the currencies, and what I will do here is that I will set this to 1 day. Yeah, so here it tells you what is the trend on other currencies. Yeah, I messed up. Sorry. The reason why is that I have to change it here, not here. So just let's redeploy the indicator. Yeah, sorry for this. So where is it? Indicators. So sorry guys, my MD5 just stopped working. I don't know why, but I had to restart it. So let's just continue. Yeah, I will. Sorry, not this one. Let's go for Euro USD and let me just yeah, run the indicator here. So we were discussing the CSM currency strength meter indicator. So let me just deploy the, yeah, and we are good to go. Okay, perfect. So the currency strength meter, basically what it does is that it tells you the current trend of other currencies and gold. Yeah, so how I use it is that I simply look for strong currencies. Those are the ones that are at the top or almost the top, and I look for weak currencies. They are at the bottom, and then I trade basically these two currencies together. So you can see, I don't know how clearly, but the strongest currency is euro. The weakest one is yen. So what I would do is that I would just like look for euro yen, which is right here, and I would go for buy positions, because euro is the first currency, yeah, and the yen is here second currency. So euro is strong, yen is weak, therefore I would go for buy positions. Yeah, so that's how I would use this. With the currency strength meter, you have a lot of options. So you can choose the period, which is tied to the time frame. Yeah, so if I choose 1 day as my time frame and 7 as a period, it means that it will calculate the currency strength meter for the last 7 days. Yeah. If I change this to, for example, 14 days, let's check it. It will recalculate it and it will give me different signals. So now for the last 14 days, the strongest currency was still euro, but the weakest currency was GBP. So what I would do is that I would find this euro GBP. Euro is strong, GBP is weak, therefore I would go for buy positions. Yeah, which makes sense because there is a tremendous uptrend right here. So that's how I use or how I would use the currency strength meter. You can also use this with gold, but it seems like gold is always at the top. Yeah, so it doesn't like give you much information. But yeah, you can also use gold right here. And gold is like in a relation to USD. Okay, so when gold is above 0, it means that it's trending, and when it's below 0, it means it's going down basically. Yeah, so that's how you read the gold right here. And now the last feature is the volume profile. Yeah, so the volume profile can be seen here on the screen. It's this histogram, yeah, inverted histogram. And yeah, I don't think I have to explain how volume profile works. It's pretty famous, and yeah, so that's the volume profile. What can we do here? So we can either enable or disable the volume profile. We can also change basically on how many days the calculations are based on. So by default it's 1 day, but we can change this to, for example, 7 days. And now it will show us the volume profile based on the last 7 days. So it starts here and it goes here. Yeah, so you can change the settings. And then you have this resolution input. If I were to change this to, for example, 5, what will happen is that we will have like much more data points in here. Yeah, you can see that the volume profile is more filled. Therefore, yeah, like it gives you much more precise information. If I were to change this to, for example, 50 or 44, you can see that now you get like just like a few lines. Yeah, the overall information is the same. Yeah, it like gives you the same information. It's just about, yeah, like there are slight details, but like for me it doesn't matter that much which resolution I use. By default it's set to 15. And then you can of course change the color of the volume profile. So you can, for example, use, I don't know, something nice, light sky blue, and you can also change the style. So by default it's solid, but if that's like too much for you, you can change this to, for example, dash dot dot, click on OK, and it will look like this. Yeah, which is not nice to me, but you have an option to change it. So yeah, that's it about the features. That's it, I guess. What else? We have also our user interface. I talked about the performance part, but we also have this main part, let's say. So you have the market master label right here. Right under that you have your account ID, user. Here will be your username, your broker or company that your account is registered under, your base currency, your leverage, then your balance and equity. And then the most important thing right here, I guess, is the news filter, or not filter, but this box right here displays the upcoming news events. Right now I see that this doesn't work quite well, so I will have to change this because this countdown doesn't make sense. But basically, yeah, this is strange. But basically, right here you will have four economic events that are about to happen. Yeah, in the left column you have the time of the event. In the right or in the second column you have the countdown. So you can see here it's happening at 15:30 of I'm not sure which time zone this is, but here you can see that I have 13:57, so I am 1 hour behind. Yeah, and here you can see the countdown, so this is about to happen in 32 minutes. Then you can see the impact that this event will have. So there are three types of impact: low, moderate and high. And then you have the event name. So here you can like see what the event actually is. And yeah, that's it. Those are the features of the Market Master. Yeah, this is the premium version. The premium version has my trend filter built inside it. And I will leave the link to the Market Master in the description of this video. You can buy it for 47 pounds. Dollars, I guess. So if you want, you can purchase it and try it out. If you do, I would encourage you to spend quite a lot of time to like experiment with the indicator itself, because yeah, there is a lot of features, and it will take some time to adjust yourself and to get to know the indicator, basically. Yeah, you want to get to know the indicator well in order to know what can work together, because mixing all of those features together might not be the best idea. Yeah, like I would like to give you one strategy that you can trade with this, but there is just too many. Yeah, there's just too many to choose from. You can do a lot of things with this. If it were like, I would 100% mix the volume profile with the VWAP, with the bands, and with the CSM. Yeah, something on this style. Yeah, I would look at the strong and weak currencies, then I would study the volume profile to know where the price might go to, and then I would look for extreme deviations from the average price and trade it. Yeah, so that would be my approach probably, but as I said, this can be used in so many ways that I can't tell you which one is the correct one. Okay, so this is it. I thank you very, very much for your time and for your attention. And yeah, I think I will see you in the next one. Also, after this, I will start a new series in which I will show you how to develop an expert advisor that can be used on live account. So up until this point, we just work on some very simple expert advisors that were not suitable for the live accounts, but now I will show you one that we can develop together, and I will show you the whole process from development to testing, optimization, and yeah, so it will be pretty interesting. Anyway, thank you very much and see you in the next one. Bye.